Hi, my name is Heather Perry. I am one of the co-instructors for the course that you're going to be taking here this semester, entitled EDU 575, Instructional Leadership. It's a course that's being offered in collaboration between the University of Maine at Farmington and the University of Maine at Presque Isle. My co-teacher for this course is Deb McIntyre, who you will meet in person on the 4th of April at the first face-to-face class. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make that first class, but I'm very sure that you'll have a great experience with Deb during that first class, and you'll learn quite a bit. I just want to take a minute, since I will not be at that first class, to introduce myself to you in person and to let you know a little bit about who I am as a person and my experiences, and hopefully what I bring as an instructor to this course and the topic that's focused around proficiency-based learning and instructional leadership within that topic. So a little bit about myself. I'm actually originally from the Machias area of Maine. I grew up there as a student, went to school in the school systems there, and actually started my career as a teacher and principal in the school systems in Down East Maine and the Machias area. I spent about 6-7 years as a teacher at the grade 6 through 8 level, working in very small schools in Down East Maine. After that, I became a principal at the elementary level. They had K-8 schools, pre-K to 8 schools actually, in Machiasport and in Cutler, Maine. And spent about 6 years doing that. After that, I decided to leap into the superintendency, where I started off for the first 4 years of my superintendent position in Greenville and Jackman area of Maine, up in Piscataquis County. After that experience, I moved from there to RSU3 in the Unity and Thorndike area as a superintendent of schools, where I met Deb and have worked closely with her for 5 years, which was a great experience. Now I'm currently the superintendent of schools in Gorham, Maine, which is just outside of the Portland area, a school of about 2,700 students in grades K through 12. So that's sort of my experience. I've also been an instructor for some courses through the University of Maine system in educational leadership. I often teach the Dynamics of Change course online in the summer through the University of Maine. So I've had a little bit of experience working with Blackboard and certainly in instructing students at the collegiate level. And basically I thoroughly enjoy spending time sharing my craft, sharing experiences, hoping that people can learn from some of the lessons that I've often had to learn the hard way, and maybe you can learn from them, by sharing them a little easier than what I did. So basically the course objectives for this class are around developing instructional assessment practices that are useful within a PBE classroom, and sort of analyzing the research around proficiency-based learning. Also kind of examining the impact on local practices, policies, and school structures. Again, in reference to the proficiency-based learning system that we're all working on in the state of Maine right now. I would say another course objective is to work on visioning and communicating that vision to the public, and trying to lead some of those change initiatives that are very complex, second-order change initiatives, and the complexities that surround that leadership in those areas. And to describe the role of leadership in those change practices, maybe get a little practice in thinking about how you would lead those things if you were in those shoes. And also to really identify some strategies that are needed to successfully sort of maintain and update a proficiency-based learning system over the course of time and sustain it. So my experience really in this area was probably begun in the Greenville area when RISC, the Reinventing Schools Coalition, came into the state of Maine early on under Sue Gendron as commissioner at that time, and started talking about what a standards-based system could look like. And to be honest, I drank the Kool-Aid at that point, and have been a huge fan and proponent of proficiency-based learning ever since. Of course, what proficiency-based learning looks like across the state of Maine varies greatly. And that's part of the complexities of leading change in this area, and trying to talk about a subject as complex as proficiency-based learning when it's very different and can be seen very differently across the state in the various school systems that are attempting to implement it. So that's a bit of a challenge, one that I'm sure we're going to explore as we go through the course this spring. I think we're going to talk a great deal about, what PBL really looks like and needs to be foundationally, philosophically, and how you kind of take those philosophical beliefs around proficiency-based learning, translate those into a clear vision, and then utilize that vision to kind of push change initiatives forward, either at the classroom level or at the school level or even at the systems level in public schools. So we'll spend some good amount of time with that. I really just want to, again, take a few minutes to introduce myself, give you a sense of who I am. I'm sure I'll be seeing you at some of those other face-to-face meetings later on in the spring, and I look forward to that. I'm greatly looking forward to the course. Always conversations, again, around proficiency-based learning is something that I'm passionate about education, passionate about students, and passionate about sharing the craft of leadership across the state and encouraging others to think about leadership, because I think that we need really good people in leadership across the state of Maine in public schools, and we don't have enough people that are willing to take that risk. So trying to encourage people to think about those things and to really think systemically about proficiency-based learning and how we implement it and how we sustain it in our communities. So again, thank you. That's my introduction. Here I am. I hope you enjoy your first class with Deb. Again, I'm very sure you're going to learn a tremendous amount that first class. She's great, and I look forward to meeting you in person at the second face-to-face class. So until then, I'll see you online. Thank you, and have a great evening.